Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason, and together with me is Angela. The topic for our consideration this afternoon is managing knowledge lifecycle, and it's written by Bokinshaw and Shihan. Okay, the author's contention is that knowledge is not static. A lot of organizations today, they think knowledge is static, and they manage it as if it is static. So, all of us, we are studying KM, and some of you are already working, some of you will be working soon. And the way you manage knowledge, the author suggests that there are 4 cycles in which you can approach this. Okay, so we shall be briefly looking at this. Okay, the 4 stages are creation, mobilization, diffusion, and commoditization. And within these 4 categories, the paper itself is subdivided into 4 stages, which is informal knowledge systems, IT systems, human resources, and external relationships. Bear in mind that when the authors are arguing this case, they are looking at it from an organization perspective. Okay, so when you work or when you're working, okay, you're looking at these 4 stages of the knowledge life cycle from an organization's perspective. Okay, after which the impacting factors, strategic implications, and the authors conclude.
Okay, so before going to details of our presentation today, I would like to show you this diagram. Actually, this diagram describes the knowledge life cycle, and it is the core model introduced by the author. So you see here, the x-axis is a time dimension. It describes the knowledge from the very beginning stage, knowledge creation, to the final one, commoditization. And the y-axis there describes the number, measures the number of people having access to knowledge in these 4 stages. Later, I will give you more information about these 4 stages. But now, just keep in mind of this model because it will help you better understand this article. So the first stage is knowledge creation. The author argues that in this stage, knowledge is not knowledge, it's just idea. The idea resides in someone's head. The ideas are abstract but coherent enough for testing. The testing procedure can be in the form of experiment in the scientific field or in the form of a conversation with the clients by the consultants. And then after testing, the ideas become more concrete and their broader value is established through continued testing and validation. And note here, in this stage also involves codified tacit knowledge.
Okay, so the 4 factors that we are looking at, okay, first is informal knowledge systems. From organization perspective, if the knowledge you are dealing with is at the creation stage, what should you do with the knowledge systems in your office, in your company? Okay, you have open layout space, common areas, people, you have the bar where people can interact, share knowledge, create knowledge. IT systems, you want to create knowledge, so you want to find people who are good at it. So you will go through things like video conferencing, forums. These are avenues whereby you can connect with one another. HR perspective-wise, you hire, the author uses oddballs and mavericks. Okay, it basically stands for people who think differently, people who have different perspectives, who can bring something different to the table. And lastly, external relationships. You have your external clients, your outsiders, who also bring additional insights on how you can approach this. So remember, now we are at the creation stage, and now we move on to the mobilization stage.
Yes, the second stage is knowledge mobilization. In this stage, the originator will test the ideas by some method to see whether the idea is feasible or not. After they find out the ideas is feasible, they will share with other people. Usually, the people they share with is a part of a trusted community.
Alright, so moving on from creation to mobilization, you're starting to share your knowledge. So informal knowledge systems, okay, you will have informal networks where you will start to share within a small group of people within your company. Okay, and IT system-wise, you will proceed on to have yellow pages, and you want to flag current ideas and projects so that you're able to share with more people and you're able to refine the idea further. Okay, and for HR-wise, same thing, you have the mavericks, the pragmatists. Basically, what the author states here is that you must not only engage them in knowledge creation, but you also must move them to balance between facing the clients and knowledge creation. You have a balance so that you are able to further your knowledge with the feedback from clients.
The next one is knowledge diffusion. Ideas broadly diffused and become widely understood. And in this stage, the idea is available to virtually everyone. Here, I would like to take the development of Walkman or MP3 player as an example to illustrating this point. We all know that Sony was the first producer producing the first Walkman in 1979. It is also the company which come up with the concept of portable audio. Then, after the concept of portable audio was broadly understood and accepted by their other electronics competitors such as Samsung or Creative, in 1999, Creative produced the first MP3 player. They make improvements to the Walkman to make it more smaller and lighter. And after 2000, Apple dominated the market by introducing this iPod family. So now in our work, we are using the iPod Shuffle, Nano, and iTouch all the way around.
Okay, so creation stage, the idea is in someone's head. Diffusion, you share it with a small group of people. When you come to the diffusion stage, it's actually the company's intention is to widely propagate the knowledge. So from informal knowledge systems wise, you will emphasize packaging and standardized knowledge informal systems. Okay, you train people in the company in methodologies and their use. Okay, and basically from a holistic perspective, you're trying to get knowledge out as much as possible. So to the company, IT systems, you will use a lot of database, extensive use of databases at this stage and also the stage later on. Okay, so that you will have easy access to what is already propagated out there. Okay, and for HR wise, people must be good with networking with customers because you are bringing the knowledge out. Okay, and for external relationships, you are using branding as a competitive advantage.
The last one is commoditization. In this stage, ideas are well known as common knowledge or a public good in economic language. This knowledge can be found in the library's books, in the school, or on the website.
Okay, we come to the last stage whereby not only is the company propagating out, it has come to the point that everybody knows about this knowledge. Okay, and what can the company do? Because a lot of companies, they think once the knowledge is out, it is basically useless to the company. Okay, but the authors differ in the sense that the company can still do something else, in the sense that you can supply best practices in terms of the knowledge systems. And for IT systems, you can stay current and updated. Okay, so one thing you can do is to keep your database, your systems up to date. Okay, and one company, okay, what they actually do is that they repackage the knowledge, they interpret it, and then they sell it out again. Okay, one such company is doing that. And for HR, the problem with this stage is that everybody knows this knowledge. Say, for example, COBOL, you want to hire temp staff because your use for them is short. You are not developing new ideas. You are just using something that has been so prevalent out there in the society. And for external relationships, the authors contend that you can actually influence how this knowledge is used because you are the one who has created it. You are the one who has you're able to influence other people, other companies on how to do things. Okay, so we now move on to the impacting factors.
There are three factors which will accelerate the knowledge life cycle. They are the ability of competitors to obtain the knowledge, natural leakage, deliberate codification, and diffusion by the company. And two factors which will slow down the knowledge life cycle. These are the extent to which intellectual property rights can be established. And the second one is and the testing nature of knowledge. I won't discuss this in detail. If you are interested, you can refer to the article.
Okay, so what are some of the strategic implications for the company, for the organization, and you? Okay, the authors listed three. Okay, the first one is that no company can realistically attempt all four stages. Okay, they believe that companies they do will struggle and eventually fail. Okay, because you must know what your company is good at. You must know at which stage of the life cycle your company is at, and then apply the informal knowledge systems, IT systems accordingly to suit your organization. And for second contention is that the second implication is that there must be a fine balance for companies who are between the second and third stage. Lastly, knowledge can be once it is out there, okay, it can be misapplied. So they advise companies to move on and to create new knowledge. Okay, so to recap, there are 4 stages in the knowledge life cycle. Okay, it is important to identify which stage your company is at, and then adjust the different areas accordingly. Okay, and lastly, I'd just like to leave you with a quote from the authors. Knowledge management tools are not universally applicable. Different tools are required at different stages of an idea's life. Thank you.
Very good summary. Can I have the slide 14? Okay. So this is a pretty long article.